Do you want to know what to do for a child with behavior problems? Well, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about parenting, good communication, and how to solve behavior problems. And in this video, we're talking about what you can do to better solve behavior problems at your house. A variety of behavior problems. I mean, that's a pretty broad question to try to answer, but they can be classified into some key areas. In this video, we're going to be talking about what key areas behavior problems can be classified into and what you can do to fix those behavior problems in your family. So let's talk about behavior problems then. Let's see, there's things like lying or things like not doing a chore properly when they know how to do a proper chore. We actually call this a dishonest chore. There's things like manipulating other people emotionally, trying to control them, power struggle with other people. Some other childhood behaviors might be behaviors related to hygiene and, not brushing the teeth or just not being aware of certain things around them. Then there's certain things that relate to compliance, right? So you need to go do this. Do they comply or not? Or don't do that. Do they comply or not? So there's some behaviors that can be classified as things related to honesty or integrity, some character development stuff. And then there are behaviors that relate to the well-being of our body and what we're even aware of. So they're knowledge-based behaviors. Do I really know and understand why I need to do that certain thing or not do that certain thing? And then there's other behaviors that relate to compliance. Do I want to comply or do I not want to comply? And I think those are probably the ones that people have the hardest time with. Oh, I suppose I should also mention the fourth category of behaviors would be things like just mistakes. Okay, I wasn't trying to do that. It just happened. Okay, so that's important to recognize. And anytime a mistake happens, that's a great time for teaching and doesn't necessarily need to be corrected right then. We will talk about how to do corrections in this video, but it is important to understand that teaching sets the stage for good correcting. So let's talk about teaching. If you are going to be effective at correcting the behaviors with your children or helping them choose to correct the behaviors because you can't really correct the behaviors for them, then you need to have a teaching mindset. So are corrections bad? The answer is no. Corrections are good. In fact, you can feel closer to your child during and after a correction than you even did before if the parent is focusing on bonding to the child during the correction. So bonding with your child is a key piece to fixing the behavioral problem, whether it was a mistake or whether it was something that was willfully done on purpose. Still, there should be bonding there. There's never a reason to detach emotionally from your child. This means that as a parent, you have to be focused on being calm yourself and make sure that you do not take the misbehavior of your child personally. I know that's easier said than done. At the end of this video, I'm going to have some help for you, okay? So I'll give you a gift that can help you hopefully be more prepared to be calm, because that's what you want to be. You want to have calmness, which means that you are ready no matter what happens to handle the problem. You trust yourself to be able to be okay. You're not taking somebody else's behavior personally, and you're able to bond to them while you are helping them through a difficult moment, even if they're completely out of control. It is possible. So there are 5 different teaching styles that a parent uses to teach their children. There's praising, pre-teaching, correcting, intensive teaching. This means the type of teaching that you do when they're completely out of control. And then counseling. I call it parent counseling. So how you talk to your children to prepare for success with certain issues or behaviors that they might be dealing with. Praising is a key part of teaching. When you praise something, then your children actually decide they want to do it more often. In fact, the more you praise, the less corrections you usually have to do. Pre-teaching is like the magical self-government thing. teaching. And I don't want to call anything magical because it takes time. It's not like waving a magic wand. But when you pre-teach somebody about what's coming, that decreases their anxiety. It also keeps you focused and them focused on what to do next and prepares them to succeed. It's fantastic. So you should always be pre-teaching everything ahead of time to prepare your child for success. Then comes correcting. When you correct your child, this is the time where you've noticed a problem and you help them get back on track. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And then there's intensive teaching. There won't be enough time on this video to discuss intensive teaching, but I do talk about intensive teaching at length in my TSG parenting course, which you can find on teachingselfgovernment.com. In fact, you can go to teachingselfgovernment.com/TSG-parenting-course, and you can find the course there. And then parent counseling sessions are something that I also go into greater detail about in that course. But let's talk about correcting behaviors. So let's talk about correcting behaviors. If you have pre-taught ahead of time the 4 basic skills to your children, then they now have a reference for success. So what are the 4 basic skills? There are 4 skills that we teach the children that take care of 99% of their behavioral problems. So they are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. Each one of those skills has a skill set attached to it. For instance, to disagree appropriately, you look at the person, you keep a calm face, voice, and body, you say that you understand the other person's point of view, you share your point of view, you listen to what they have to say, you say okay, and then drop the subject. Now think, how much better is that than whining or attitude problem? That is a skill that already prepares them for success and not to have a behavior problem in the first place. But if they do, you have to correct it. But did you hear all of those steps to that skill? Well, now I know exactly what I'm looking for to correct something. If someone starts back-talking me or whining about something, then I just think of the steps to the skill. Let's see. Look at the person. Are they looking at me? Well, yeah, they are. But are they keeping a calm face, voice, and body? Well, the whining child, no, definitely not. And so now I know what to correct. Well, the person that's back-talking me might be keeping a calm face, voice, and body, but they are talking back about everything. That means they are probably not dropping the subject. So I would need to correct them about not dropping the subject. So what might a correction like that sound like? It starts with a description. So I first describe what they are doing or what they did. And I usually use the phrase just now to remind me to start describing so that I don't react. If you react to what's happening with your child, it could start a power struggle, and you definitely don't want to be the cause of the power struggle. And many parents don't know that they are the cause to a power struggle. So I might say something like, just now I gave you a no answer and you talked back to me, which means you weren't dropping the subject. What you should have done is you should have dropped the subject, because that's the 4th step to accepting a no answer. Since you chose not to drop the subject, then you have earned an extra chore. I almost always use an extra chore for a negative consequence for multiple reasons. It's definitely the most merciful because it's quick repentance, they get over with it quickly, but also because it's something they have to do, and it's their self-government. They need to pick to self-govern themselves. Then they accept it, hopefully. If not, I go to an intensive teaching. And then I praise them for that. And praise, remember, is important. In fact, you should praise the child 6 to 10 times for every one time that you correct them. So then I get the opportunity to do some practices with the child. We practice accepting a no answer the right way 3 times, and I praise them each time they practice. Then we get the opportunity to do the extra chore, whatever it was that they earned. They check back to me, they get praised again, which means they've now been praised like at least 5 times during the one correction. You see, a correction doesn't have to feel bad. In fact, it can feel really good. And then after that, they're praised and they, run on to do whatever it is that they were doing before. So corrections don't have to feel horrible. Now, if a person is going completely out of control or they don't want to accept a correction, that's when you need the rule of 3. Now, again, remember, I do have a course. It's the TSG parenting course on the teachingselfgovernment.com website. But remember, I said that I had something for you for free today. Well, I do have a free gift for you. My website, teachingselfgovernment.com, has a Calm Parenting Toolkit on it. And when you go to that Calm Parenting Toolkit right now, you can have it for free. So in the description below this video, there is a link that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. Click on the link to that toolkit right now and you can have it completely for free. It will start you on the course to self-government and help you get in a mindset so that you can be calm and better correct your children. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.